What if the secret to turning back the biological clock wasn't hidden in some exotic herb or moon dust supplement, but was quietly circulating inside your veins all along? Welcome to the wild, weird, and rapidly evolving world of blood plasma therapy, where scientists are beginning to treat aging not just as a fate, but as a fluid problem. Literally. Blood plasma, the pale, yellow liquid portion of your blood, makes up over half its volume. It's essentially the molecular Uber of your circulatory system, varying hormones, proteins, nutrients, antibodies, clotting factors, and mysterious age-defying signals from one part of your body to another. And now, researchers are asking a provocative question. What happens if you swap out the old plasma for something younger, cleaner, or biologically upgraded? The idea isn't entirely new. It actually started with an experiment that reads like a science fiction fever dream. In the early 2000s, scientists began revisiting a 19th century technique called heterochronic parabiosis, in which an old and young mouse are surgically joined so they share one circulatory system. What followed sounded too good to be true. The old mice experienced better brain function, faster muscle repair, improved heart health, and even rejuvenated stem cell activity, just from sharing blood with a younger partner. Cue the headlines about young blood and the inevitable vampire jokes. But don't break out your fangs just yet. The real scientific breakthrough wasn't in the whole blood, it was in the plasma. Further studies revealed that many of the rejuvenating effects came from what was floating in the plasma, not from red or white blood cells themselves. When young plasma alone was injected into older mice, similar anti-aging effects emerged, especially in the hippocampus, the brain's memory center. Suddenly, the concept of liquid gold didn't just apply to olive oil or Bitcoin. It became a serious candidate for age reversal. So what exactly is in young plasma that might be so helpful? Researchers have identified several candidates. GDF11, a growth differentiation factor that declines with age and supports tissue repair. TMP2, a protein linked to improved learning and memory. And oxytocin, the so-called love hormone that also seems to play a role in muscle regeneration. These aren't magical elixirs. They're part of a complex orchestra of signaling molecules that get tuned down with age. Plasma therapy might simply be retuning the system, bringing back the symphony of youth one molecule at a time. But it's not all about what you add, it's also about what you remove. As we age, plasma begins to carry around a lot of biochemical baggage: pro-inflammatory cytokines, senescence-associated secretory proteins, oxidized lipids, and metabolic waste that gums up the works. This has led to a complementary strategy known as therapeutic plasma exchange, TP, which removes a portion of old plasma and replaces it with a saline albumin mixture or filtered plasma. Think of it as an oil change for your bloodstream. In mouse models, TP reduces systemic inflammation, improves cognition, and rejuvenates tissues, even without adding anything young into the mix. Humans are next in line. Early-stage clinical trials have already begun exploring plasma-based therapies for age-related cognitive decline and neurodegenerative conditions. One company, Alcest, acquired by Grifols, launched trials testing young plasma infusions in patients with Alzheimer's disease. Others are investigating plasma-derived protein cocktails or filtering techniques that target aging-related components in the blood. While results so far are modest, the safety profiles are encouraging, and the concept has cracked open a new therapeutic frontier. That said, this isn't DIY territory. No, you can't rejuvenate yourself by convincing your teenage nephew to donate blood on weekends. The FDA frowns heavily on off-label use of plasma products for anti-aging. And there's a good reason for caution. Plasma carries immunological baggage, and improper transfusions can lead to allergic reactions, infections, or worse. Also, we're still in the early stages of understanding which components of plasma matter most. It's likely not a single molecule, but a network effect that balances youthful signals with the silencing of age-promoting noise. In the future, we may not need to rely on real plasma at all. Biotech is already racing to engineer synthetic plasma or designer cocktails of rejuvenating proteins that mimic the best parts of young blood without the ick factor. Others are exploring gene therapies that upregulate youth-associated plasma proteins internally, eliminating the need for infusions altogether. In the meantime, you don't have to wait for a plasma drip to keep your blood youthful. Exercise, Fasting, sleep, and a polyphenol-rich diet are all proven ways to shift your plasma profile toward one that's more anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and metabolically clean. You can think of your lifestyle as a daily, natural form of plasma therapy, less sci-fi, more sustainable. So yes, blood plasma might be the next frontier in anti-aging. It's not quite the philosopher's stone, but it's close enough to intrigue Nobel-level scientists, billion-dollar companies, and some very optimistic mice. The idea that aging can be influenced or even reversed by modifying what flows through your veins is no longer fiction. It's biochemistry with an attitude. And the fountain of youth? It might not be in a cave or a crystal, but swirling in the silent gold of your own circulatory system, waiting to be better understood and possibly, one day, upgraded.